Good morning. My name is Carolyn, and it's good to be with you here today. Tape, lots of it. Young boys and tape just go together. When my kids were very young, we used a lot of Scotch tape. Then as they got a little older, we moved to masking tape and packing tape. And as they got even older, we brought out the mother of all tapes, duct tape. Yes, let's hear it for duct tape. One year I even put duct tape in their stockings. They loved all things tape. In a time of darkness, tape helped create a memory that I will never forget. Our family had gone from 4 to 3 at the end of April, and that first summer was one of uncertainty as well, as we all figured out how life would be without my former husband being a part of our everyday lives. I was worn out and scared. We had spent lots of time with friends and with each other as a family of 3, because people need each other during dark times, right? One day that summer, my 2 boys, Adam and Carter, spent hours making a fort in the basement. It was incredible, epic. A fort palace, and it had like a sleeping area and living area. It was awesome. The blankets were fastened with duct tape, you guessed it. The boys asked for a picnic, actually an entire campout in that fort. It seemed like a lot of work, and it seemed like a lot of cleanup. A campout seemed too much for a scared and tired single mama who was hardly holding it together. But in a world where hard things had happened beyond their control to them, it seemed like this was something that I could do for them. And so I agreed. That night was magical, and it will be forever ingrained in my memory. The fort was cozy with duct tape fastened blankets close over our heads as we sat on the floor, and the furniture was close by to form the walls. In a world that had become big and overwhelming and terrifying, the fort was this little cozy retreat that had become a safe haven from the rest of this daunting life that we lived. The dark of the fort wasn't ominous. Actually, the close, dark feeling in that fort felt safe. We ate dinner by flashlight. The little bit of light helped us see our carrot sticks and pizza. The pizza was from a frozen box, but it tasted like gourmet in our little haven. We could see each other under there for sure. But the dimness of the space was part of what made it feel special. After supper in that fort, we watched a movie called Because of Winn-Dixie. It was a cute little flick. It was chosen fairly quickly and randomly without knowing much about it. The movie had different details, but it felt really like it paralleled our own story. A child living with the loss of one parent, while the other parent is trying hard to do well, with good intentions, but is regularly messing up. In what seemed like a message from God, the tagline of the movie was something that stuck with me. Discover what happens when you go looking for a miracle, and a miracle comes looking for you. Adam and Carter will still recall how much I wept during this little flick. They remember the evening now as an occasion to tease me about my tears, but warmly somehow. Even after all this time later, they too remember the flashlit night under the fort, where we shut out the rest of the world and were safely together in a little world held together by duct tape. We fell asleep in sleeping bags in the fort, knowing that we were together and we were okay. I didn't make them take it down the next day. As a matter of fact, our first night in the fort was so memorable, we spent the next night there too. The cozy darkness, broken only by the dim glow of the flashlight, was something that just required an encore. The nights in the fort reminded me that life could be good again, that it was already good, and that it felt like a miracle had found me. The little fort reminded me that the darkness didn't have to be something to be frightened of or avoided, when even just a flashlight creates a soft light in the darkness. It can become a place of soft giggles and gentle conversation. a cozy haven, a place for healing. Think of times in your own life when you have chosen darkness with only soft light because the dim light was actually something you wanted. Maybe it was a romantic dinner by candlelight. Maybe it was a walk on a late summer evening at a camp with your cabin mates under starlit sky. Or sitting by a campfire on a lazy summer evening after dark, singing songs and roasting marshmallows. The darkness isn't always something to be feared. Sometimes it's a cozy place to connect. It's the little bit of light that makes it feel like a place to be brave. When there's only a little bit of light, secrets are told. Vulnerabilities are shared in a way that creates even more closeness. The darkness creates a safe place to feel one's feelings, to share them with another, and expose the tender parts of your soul.